What's up guys, Woody here back with another Gwent video and this is quite an exciting one because we are looking at the new card reveals for Novigrad or Syndicate. The faction called Syndicate, the expansion is called Novigrad. So we're looking at, we're going to be doing this in 3 parts. And they're not going to be the shortest videos because I know other YouTubers are doing them. They're like really nice and bite-sized and that. We're going to be looking at just over 30 cards at a time. There are 94 cards releasing with Novigrad. We're going to be going like through about 30 cards each time. And just kind of, I won't say reviewing them because it's hard to review a card until you've actually played a lot of it. But kind of previewing the card, going through what the card does, and then recommending combos, talking about what it might link in with other cards. Maybe like, is it going to be predicted auto include and just stuff like that. Kind of just having fun, chatting through the cards. I want to keep it around about 30 minutes. People are probably laughing now because if anyone watches this channel regularly, you'll know that I'm terrible at keeping track of time on videos. But yeah, enough of that. We're going to jump into it. Now, I will say the card, we're looking for the library on the Facebook page because it's where it seems to be, it's the place I can find them all like lined up. Now, I have got an overlay because obviously it's Facebook. The people have commented on it. I don't want to give away people's names or usernames or anything like that on Facebook, so there is an overlay. So when we're jumping between Gwent and we're jumping between the cards, there'll be a little bit of buffer time where they'll be like, oh, an overlay, that's an overlay. Okay, so it's the only reason I'm using an overlay is I don't want people's information to be given away on Facebook. But yeah, we're going to go through 32 cards today, and then we'll do just another one of these videos in probably a couple of days' time. And then, because it's a week, less than a week as of recording this, that Novigrad drops. Hype, baby, absolute hype. So let's jump straight across and fly through some cards. We'll only jump back for more of the bigger cards. Bronzes we can try and get through pretty quick. Those of you who don't know, these cards, so they revealed 20 on the dev stream last week, and they are allowing community members to reveal a card each day, or 6 cards a day. So 6 different community members, Gwent partners, are releasing 6 cards or revealing 6 cards a day. So the Facebook seems to be like 2 days, 3 days behind the reveals. So yeah, we're not going to be like doing all of them straight off the bat. It's nice to have a little break in between them all. But yeah, enough of the waffling, enough of all that jazz. Let's jump straight across and so I need to get this in the right order. There we go. There's our, nope, there it is. There's our border. And now we can jump across to the internet. There we go. So, card number 1, people. This is called Keeper of the Flame. It's a bronze card. Deploy ability. Boost adjacent units by 1. Tribute. Boost all allies on this row by 1. Now, if you don't know what tribute is an ability that has to be activated when you play the card. So, unlike fee, so if that said fee 4, it means you can keep paying 4 to activate its ability. That would be fucking broken. Like, imagine the buffs you just keep getting on this thing. Insane. Tribute is when you play it, you'll get 2 cards that pop up. It will say, pay tribute, don't pay tribute. If you choose to pay the tribute, you activate this ability. If you don't pay the tribute, you don't activate this ability. And you cannot activate the tribute ability later on. Maybe there's a card that comes later on that lets you reactivate a tribute ability. But at the moment, there doesn't appear to be that card. Keeper of the Flame. It looks like it's going to be pretty good in swarm decks. Like, you throw this in a swarm deck. It could be used either deployed to keep an engine alive. Popping it down, it keeps an engine alive. Or you throw it down into a swarm deck and you got a full row stack. This thing can come out. You've got 8 units in a row. This thing comes out. And it's boost all allies on this row. It's coming out free. You get an ink buff of 8. It's coming out for 12, which is, no, it's coming out for 11. For 5 provisions. Pretty damn tasty. Next card. This card was a staple in PTR. This card is fucking brilliant. I love the artwork on it. I love the designer. This guy is called Morsley. I believe I've pronounced that right. Morsley. M-O-R-E-E-L-S-E. I can't show you guys the names because there are comments for people on there. So, deploy. Damage an enemy unit by 4. Pretty standard. It's 9 provisions. It's not bad. You're getting rid of, I'd say, 50-60% of engines with a 4. There's a couple of stuff that is obviously slightly out of that range. However, Tribute 6. Again, Tribute is paid when you play the card. Pay Tribute, don't pay Tribute. Destroy target instead. You just wipe a card off the board. Gone. Simple as that. This, for 9 provisions. Now, granted, you need 6 in the bank to play this card. This could become the next Geralt, effectively. Okay, no, not I can't say the next Geralt because this isn't a general card. This is a Novigrad card, so it can't be the next Geralt. The next Leo, shall we say? The difference being is Leo can brick. If you haven't got a Witcher or you haven't got a card over 8, Leo bricks. This doesn't brick. This just destroys the target. You need to be getting 5, or if you're looking provision wise, you need to get 5 to get your provisions back. But guys, remember, if you're clearing a 4 and it's an engine, maybe you're saving 4 or 5 points for time over round, which is huge. Even if you're clearing like Vez, so let's say you play this to get rid of Vez, you don't actually have to pay the tribute. You can just damage it by 4, and then yes, you're not getting your full 9 provisions, but the fact you're denying a zeal to a unit potentially is allowing you to clear another unit off the board, or maybe make them use a Foltest charge. This card, I expect this card to be super popular in almost every Novigrad deck. Next up, we've got Profit. We've seen this one before. These are what we call crime cards. Crime cards are effectively a new type of special card. You have the little flame up here to show that special cards. Now, this is called Pickpocket. You play it, you get 6 profit in the bank. You literally make 6 money in your little bank. This has certain combos that we'll go into, maybe not in this video, but later videos, depending when the cards come up. But there's definite combos like when you every time you acquire a crown, boost a unit by the amount of crowns gained. You play this for 6, you get a 6 profit. If you've got that card on the board, all of a sudden it's a 12-point play. You've got 6 profit and you've got 12 points on the board. Depends on how much you see a profit. Do you see profit for 1 provision? We don't completely know that yet until we've actually really experienced Novigrad in its full glory. But there is a mechanic called Intimidate. Cards of Intimidate, basically every time you play a crime card, like Pickpocket, they boost by 1. Much like Thrive, much like Assimilate, much like, I'm trying to think of other cards, Harmony, stuff like that. Stuff that ticks, but you have to play a crime card to get Intimidate to tick. So yeah, it's pretty... It'd be interesting to see how this card is used. It's interesting to see how much it is in there. It is a gold card. It's an epic card. Yeah. Next up. We revealed this in the previous video. This was shown off by the guys. I love the artwork. The animation on this one as well, I reckon, will be super sexy. But here we go. Fee. Our first card this video with Fee. Fee boosts self by 2. Now, Fee is an ability you can do over and over and over and over and over again. You got the money in the bank, you can pop the T. You can pop the Fee. This is your last card in your hand, and you've got 9 in the bank. Do you know it's not the best finisher you're ever going to get? But let's say you were bled round 2, you can throw this guy down. You can put 4 charges on there for 8, and all of a sudden it's coming out for 12 for 4 provisions. That's not too bad. That's pretty solid. Yeah, Hoard basically means if you have 7 in the bank, then he will boost himself by 3, an extra buff on the ability. So, example of that, you have 9 coins in the bank. You paid a fee, because you already had 7 there for hoarding, you buff by 3. So all of a sudden he's gone to 7. You paid a fee again at 7. When you pressed pay fee, you still had 7 in the hoard. So he now goes from a 7 to a 10. So for 4 coins, you can get this guy to a 10 for 4 provisions. Yes, that does open up the chance for tool removal and all that jazz, but this thing can get serious tempo on the board pretty damn quickly. And it's interesting to see how Sea Jackal, I should said, is called, is played when Novigrad drops. Okay, so this thing here is... Succrus is insane, or the potential of Succrus is insane. This card, 6 body, so it's a pretty big body. You're not clearing him easily. Prevent the unit on the left of Succrus from taking any damage. Yes, not kidding. Combos for this are bonkers, insane. Now, yes, he can get locked, but an example combo is this. So this card here is... I will try to remember which ones are which, but you know there's dual faction cards, Skelliger and Novigrad. The screen I'm looking at now doesn't tell me exactly which ones are which. I know this for a fact is a Skelliger dual faction card. You play this in Skelliger. You play Longship next to them on the left. Longship now damages for 1, but doesn't take damage because it can't, because Succrus is there. However, you play Protector the other side of ship. When you ping for 1, although Longship isn't taking damage because Succus is there. It's still damaging itself, just not taking the damage. Protector buffs by 1. You've got an insane combo just running off there. You can throw this guy down to... He could almost be seen as a short round Avalanche. Avalanche throws immunity on a card. A card cannot be damaged with Succus next to it. Now, it's key to point out, guys, Succus says taking any damage. If you throw this down next to Olaf, I think, well, I don't know why you do that because Olaf can take damage. Okay, you throw it down to the next to the 12 body beast. I always forget his name. In a Saval Blood deck. If Geralt of Rivia comes out, he's not damaging the 12 blood, he's destroying. So cards can still be destroyed next to Succus. They just cannot be damaged. So remember that. There's a big key difference in the keywords, damage and destroy. If a card says it will destroy a card, that is overriding damage. Okay? Much like shields. Destroying cards goes through shields because you're not damaging the card, you're just wiping it off the board. I cannot wait to see what combos come up with this guy here. Skellige is going to be bonkers with this dude. Absolutely bonkers. So again, another thing, you can pop this guy down, you can pop a card to its left. You can then play Savablod Priest, that obviously damages a card by 1, then buffs by 2. It can't damage the card because Succus is there, but it can still buff itself by 2. Like, yeah, the Skellige potential is insane. I'm not too sure of the Novigrad potential because I played PTR for like 7-8 hours. I didn't play a ton of Succus. I had him in a few decks. I played around with him. I found him hard to find out how I would squeeze him in an archetype, but that's not to say he's a bad card. This card, just look at the wording on it. It looks to be absolutely bonkers, absolutely insane. Next up, we have got, this card is a dual faction card with monsters. And this card here, deploy. Destroy an allied unit and boost self by its base power. Now, they did make a point of saying that this isn't consume. I don't know what they meant by that. They didn't use the keyword consume. Now, I don't know whether that's cards in the future, play around cards that have consume, or they buff cards with consume. I don't know, but they've made a key point of saying that this hasn't got the consume keyword. Now, it is a dual faction monsters card. It's called Tatooine. I like the artwork on it. I think the animated artwork is going to be absolutely delightful. So when you deploy, destroy an allied unit and boost self by its base power. It's pretty stable. I mean, it's 6 for 8. It's a pretty big body anyway. You can throw this down. You could eat the 1-cost Foglet, pop a 5 out. It's a big tempo play. This is going to fit nice in Gernakora decks. It can be played in Novigrad decks. It's gonna help definitely in monster decks with the dominance. It's coming out at 6 body already. Even just consuming the 1-cost Foglet, pegging it to a 7. 7's still quite a big card on the board. Like dominance wise, you're gonna have to start playing some of your big boys to get past Tatooine. But yeah, I like the idea on the card word. I'm interested to see why they didn't use the keyword consume. But yeah, that's Tatooine. Up next, we have got. I love this guy. More for his name, the Sausage Maker. No kidding. This guy is called the Sausage Maker, and he's a dwarf. So guess what faction he can co-play with? Squirtle. So the Sausage Maker, Intimidate. Intimidate is the keyword I was on about, and that is the one where you drop down a crime card and he buff by 1. So he'll boost by 1. He'll boost by every time you play a crime card. When you play him, you get free profit. So he's 10 provisions. We don't exactly know yet how profits are going to work out in terms of P-wise. Like, is 1 profit worth 1 provision? Personally, I don't think so. I'd say it have to be more like 1.5 profit to provision, but that's me just speculating. So you get free profit when you play him, but for a fee of 5, remember it is a fee, so you can keep doing this. As long as I'm on the melee road, this guy gains resilience. So just think about this for a second. You can drop this guy round 1. You can pay the fee so he gets resilience to round 2. You can push a little bit round 2 if you want. Pay the fee again so he gets resilience again to round 3. This guy can stay on the board all 3 rounds. Throw that down with Gibor. Maybe if you're playing for the Vandal and you're running a more of a resilient style deck. I mean, the bleed is real, guys. Like, you can get the resilience bleed could be real. Maybe even you're going to be crazy and you're going to throw out Shoop, because why the hell not? But no, this guy Playing crimes, he's going to buff. He's effectively a Gabor, but with Novigrad quirks in terms of he doesn't have the immunity, but he does have the same as with Gabor. You play a dwarf, he buffs by 1. You play a crime, this guy buffs by 1. He can play him on the melee row, he can gain resilience. Play Gabor on the main row, he gains resilience. So the only thing missing is he hasn't got the immunity. The big thing is this guy can stay on the board the whole freaking game. Just think about that. That's mental. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm being really quick for these, and I'm not going about loads and loads of combos. I don't want to spend... I could be here for like 2 hours talking about just 30 cards. I don't want to waste your guys' time, so we're going to try and rattle through them. And when a card comes up, I'm like, oh, actually, this could be a combo. I'll jump across back to Gwent. So, this guy here, I love this card because Poison is a shite mechanic. I'm not going to lie. In Gwent, the way they changed Rot Fiend... Is it Rot Fiend? Rot Tosser, sorry. Rot Tosser is irritating. It annoyed me. I don't like Poison. However, Poison could be making a comeback. Every ally turn, on turn end, if this unit is poisoned, boost it by 1. So this guy's Wretched Addict. I mean, it's pretty grotesque artwork. It's 4 for 4, so it's coming up base body. However, you can poison this guy and hope they're not running poison. This guy can just tick and tick and tick and tick and tick. They might want to remove him, but do they really want to be wasting? Like, coming up for 4, if he is poisoned by the end of round on that round, goes to a 5. They've got to use not a substantial, but they've got to use a better than normally bronze removal to get rid of a 5. So then all of a sudden you start asking questions on, but do they want to use tool removal to get rid of this guy? Possibly not. Okay, he's probably going to be sat around there with something like a Magni Division or Nordica Sergeant. If we jump back across to Gwent quickly and I pop this card border off, if we go down to, if we type in Poison now, we can see what cards offer Poison. Because I did notice this when I was looking earlier. So here, this card here, give an enemy unit Poison. So Fangs of the Empire, it's an enemy unit Poison. You can't throw this down on Wretched Addict. Same as over here, okay? Give an enemy unit Poison, okay? Over here, damage an enemy 2 and then give it Poison, okay? This obviously, Calcarcus, you throw it over there, Poison. If we come up here, then again, it's damage a unit by 2 and give it Poison. This isn't great because you're damaging the unit, okay? So at the moment, there really isn't a ton of good cards to poison. However, there are... I don't know why I just pressed exit. I need to stay on Deck Builder. However, there are cards coming. If I go back across here, that will help work with this, okay? So it's nice to see them leaning into the poison archetype. I say archetype, the very, very sub-archetype of poison a little bit more. I'm very interested to see how this guy plays, basically. I'm very interested to see how much he's used and how... I suppose more interested to see if people start running poison, because obviously the way poison works, if people don't know, if a unit is hit by poison twice, it dies. So you drop poison onto this guy, they only need to play 1 poison onto it, and it dies. Against Scoia'tael, that can happen quite a lot, because they do run the card that gives poison and bleeding, or vitality, I can't remember now, but anyway. Oh, God. Apologies there, guys. There we go. So, up next, we have Eavesdrop. Eavesdrop is another crime card. So this one here, Profit 4, you play it, you get 4 coins in your bank. Draw a card, and then put a card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. Now, what's interesting here is it will be interesting to see if a card comes in with Novigrad or later in the future that allows you to play cards from the bottom of your deck. That could be a really big combo. Almost like a flip on what we get with Villa Forts and Calvate, moving cards to the top of the deck, playing Villa Forts, pulling a card out. Profit 4 is 5 provisions, so it depends. If you're really looking to draw into a card, you've thinned quite a lot, but you haven't got a card in your hand. Maybe you get the value. I mean, you get the full profit. I would put the full profit at around about 3.5 provisions if you're being like technical. Do you get the extra 1.5 provisions by drawing into a card you want? There is an RNG element. Unless a card comes where you're actually able to play a big card from the bottom of your deck for free or pull it out maybe. And then, otherwise, I think this card only gets play in crime decks. Let's be honest, there's going to be a crime decks where you're playing crime cards to just like a similar, just pop Intimidate all over the board. But yep, that's Eavesdrop. Next, we're moving on. The Witch Hunter Executioner. Now, Witch Hunters, I will say, in the PTR, I tried to play around with Witch Hunters as an archetype. Now, they're, so you know when you look at a card, it says Human, Soldier, all that jazz, Witcher. There is there's like a small sub-archetype called Witch Hunters. And there are certain cards that kind of buff off other Witch Hunters. And I want to work when PTR when Novigrad fully launches. I want to make a relatively competitive Witch Hunter deck. I don't know, or sub-archetype deck. I like the idea of them. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird, but I like the idea of Witch Hunters. But anyway, this card, let's go back to it. 3 body, 5 provisions. Witch Hunter Executioner. Profit 2. So you're already getting 2 coins back just by playing the card. Fee 1. Give bleeding to an enemy for 1 turn. If it has a bounty, then damage it by 1 instead. Now, there are cards that you can drop. We're going to get onto, maybe should be later in this video. When you pop it down, you can pop a bounty on a card, and then all of a sudden, bounties work. But when you killed a card of a bounty, you get coins back, basically. So it has a bounty on there. Let's say you pay this. Let's say you got 5 in the bank. You've popped, there's a bounty on a 5-cost card. You can pay this. Remember, fee can go, it hasn't got a cooldown, so fee can go damage, 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 damage. You can clear the 5, take the bounty. Maybe you're going to get back 4 coins off the bounty. So you actually only lost 1 provision. This guy's come out and cleared an engine. That's a really big play. Like, and this guy can get, this guy looks like he's going to be, not auto include, but he's going to be in a lot of, for 5 provisions in a Novigrad deck where you, 1 fee, if you're running bounty hunters, 1 fee, the fee of 1, to effectively potentially clear engines. You're guaranteed you're going to get at least 2 hits with it because he's got profit 2. Clear engines and maybe get money back off a bounty. I think this guy gets quite a lot of play. Witch Hunter Executioner. I like the card. I like the artwork. Yeah, like I said, I like the idea of the Witch Hunter sub-archetypes. Okay, this guy here, Back Alley Chemist. Oh, look at this. Deploy. Give an allied unit poison and boost it by 2. Wow, if we go back 2 cards now, it's almost like... Nope, we go back 3 cards now. It's almost like Back Alley Alchemist was perfectly designed to be played with Wretched Addict, where every ally turn on turn end boost this unit. If this unit is poisoned, boost by 1. So yeah, this guy's on the board. Maybe they don't want to remove him because he's a 4 body, so he's not like a simple straight off the bat removal. Then we play Back Alley Alchemist. Now he's at a 6 and he's poisoned. If they're not running poison, he's going to a 7, an 8, a 9, a 10, an 11. All of a sudden, this guy's starting to ramp up as an engine. They're not running poison. They might have to run a tool removal to get rid of him. Maybe they don't want to get rid of tool removal on the bronze card. That yes is going to get you value, but maybe you've got bigger units or more dangerous units in the deck. So quite simple. This was literally made as a combo with Wretched Addict. I like the fact they've gone down the whole Chemist, Back Alley Chemist route. It's cool. Yeah, I look forward to seeing how much this combo is played and how effective it is when Novigrad drops. Next card. Oh, I love the artwork on this dude. He's so super cool. This guy's just a beast. Just an absolute brute. Bare Knuckle Brawler. So this guy, Intimidate, and that is it. He's a 4/4 with Intimidate. So you put him out, Intimidate, obviously every time you play a crime card, he buffs. Simple as that. You could be running Portal if you wanted. You could have 2 of these in the deck. With Portal, all of a sudden Portal brings both these out. You start playing crime cards. You're getting 2 extra pings every crime card you're playing. You're damaging them by 3, for example, one of the crime cards. These guys are buffing 1 and 1. Keep buffing, keep buffing, keep buffing, keep buffing. I don't see if they're played, unless you're playing Shoop. I can't see how they're played outside of Portal. Maybe they're played in there 4/4 with Intimidate. But I'd imagine most of the times these guys are going to be pulled out of Portal. If they're not Portal's the artifact that you play, and it pulls out 2 4-cost units from your deck. So yeah, if these guys come out with Portal and they stay on the board, let's say over a 7-turn round, you're playing, say, roughly 3 crime cards in a crime deck. These guys are going to get 6 value between them if you're playing them with Portal. It's not insane value, but it potentially could be game-winning value. But the artwork was cool. Beggar. Beggar. So this guy, he's 4 provisions. He comes out with a free body. Profit 2. So you've got 2 coins straight in the bank. Bonded. Profit 4 instead. Bonded means you're 2 cards to go. Sorry, I was thinking, I need to work this out. So you play Beggar, you take for 2 profit. When you play the second one, if this guy's still on the board, then you profit by 4. So you're getting 2 cards out. You're profiting for 6 potentially off 2 different cards. I like the artwork's quite funny on it. The whole Beggar thing that it's bonded. You're getting more money. It's I like the fact it's got Garrow. Is that a picture of Garrow on him? Yeah, it's a 4 provision card. It will get play. I don't think it's. I mean, Profit 4 is pretty big. I don't think it's a go-to bronze card. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, that's Beggar. Up next, we have. I like this card because there's this card and another card that link story-wise in terms of that artwork. But anyway, this is another crime card called Bloody Good Fun. Doesn't look like he's having bloody good fun on the picture, but anyway. Profit free. So you play the card, you get 3 coins in the bank, or crowns. I keep saying coins, 3 crowns in the bank. Let's get technical here, guys. Lose all your crowns and damage an enemy by the same amount. That could be huge. So you got a maximum of 9 damage. Let's say they play that big finisher. They drop. I don't know, let's say you're playing a swarm deck. I don't know why you'd be playing this card in a swarm deck, but anyway, let's say you're playing some kind of swarm deck. You've got 15 units on the board. They drop down an Octavist. All of a sudden, their Octavist is coming up for 20. 5 body, and he's got 15 damage when he ticks. That's insane. You've got 2 coins in the bank. You play this card here, so it's profit free. So you've now got 5 coins in the bank. You can now just bang. Octavist, off you go, mate. See you later. That's just a quick example off the top of my head, but that hopefully breaks down what this card can do. Maybe you got some Intimidate on the board. So actually playing this guy to clear Octavist, now you've got 2 pops off Intimidate as well. That's a huge play. You've prevented 20 points on their side, and you've gained 2 points on your side. 22 points off a 4 provision card. That's a very extreme example, but I like to try and cater for new players. Hopefully new players will be like, I get what they mean, okay? Yeah, that could be, for 4 provisions, I mean, this is pretty damn big cards, to be honest. The fact that you can clear most engines off, depending on where your profit is. Remember, crowns carry over. So even, you could play this turn 1. Let's say they're trying to push you, they throw down a big body, the first play round 2 to bleed you, a 6 body. Let's say 4 coins carried over for you. You can play this card, it goes up to 7, and you cleared it off the board. Bang, see you later. Almost like a cleaver. Not as extreme as a cleaver, but you can definitely clear something big off. Even TA, you can maybe they throw TA on an engine, it goes to 8, maybe 2-3 turns in, you can throw this down, just clear the engine off. Like, yeah, who knows? Like, it's a pretty big card, especially if you're running Intimidate. You get the extra procs off it as well. Okay, I don't know how we're doing for time. I feel like I'm trying to get through them, but I don't want to completely just like blitz through it. So we'll go here. This guy is called Caleb Menger. Caleb Menger, I believe. So this guy is a 5 body. He's an 8 provisions, profit free, but fee for free. Place a bounty on an enemy unit. Here we go. We're starting to get the bounties. If we go back to our bounty, Witch Hunter Executioner, fee of 1, damage an enemy. Then with bounties, it ticks over. Okay, I can't remember exactly the way the mechanic works with bounties in terms of. I think a bounty is if you destroy an enemy, you get back coin for its base value. So, for example, you destroyed Octavist, it's 5 body. You get 5 coins back after you've placed a bounty on Octavist. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Apologies if I'm wrong on that. But, yeah, but no, this card is, if you're running a Witch Hunter deck, if you're running a bounty deck, if you want to be running bounties as sub-archetype, yeah, this is like it's a staple card in your deck. It's 5 body. It's not going to get cleared off the board straight away. Could get locked. He gives you free profit, so you can instantly, as soon as you play him, remember, there is no summoning sickness on fee. You got the money, bang, you do it. So if you're worried this guy's going to get cleared off the board early doors, let's say you got 3 crowns in the bank. You play this guy, you got 6 crowns in the bank. You pay 3 to then put a bounty on someone's head. There's no summoning stick. This is no cooldown. Pay another 3, put another bounty on someone's head. He gets cleared off. Hey, you've lost a 5 body, but you've got 2 bounties out there. Now your witch hunter executioners can start getting value and can start working towards earning that bounty back. And with the crown carryover, that could be huge. Like, you could end up starting around with 4 coins. Pretty massive. And again, I like the artwork. Like, I keep saying I like the artwork. There's not a card in this expansion so far I've not liked the artwork on. It's grimy, it's dirty, it's dark. I think it looks great. Okay. Casino bouncers. These guys are pretty standard. These guys are your fitting. They have insanity, which we'll go on to in a minute about what insanity is. Fee of 2. Summon all copies of this unit from your deck to this row. So 4 body, 6 provisions. Pay 2, out they come. Insanity means if you haven't got the money in the bank, you take the value off their life. So let's say you've dropped this guy down, you've got no coins in the bank, first play, you pop you pay the fee, their body goes from a 4 down to a 2, and then they pull the other card out. So you got 6 on the board for 12 provisions, but you got the finning, so you got the better potential drawing into a better card. You have the fee, you can pay the fee. If you have 1 coin in the bank, you take 1 damage. So it goes from a 4 to a 3. Get my fingers mixed up now. To a 3, and you're getting a card out. It's coming out for 7. It's stable. It's Novigrad's or Syndicate's finning mechanic. I like the fact they're called casino bouncers. You don't really want to mess with these guys. I think they're from the coin splitter. No, they're not. They're from the other guys, the loopy, crazy Horson guys. I can't remember their names now. Anyway, but yeah, it's a fitting card. It's staple. Every faction's got one. This is Novigrad's or this is Syndicate's. Okay, so remember we went back to Bloody Good Fun. The dwarf with the stab in the hand. I'll take us back to the card quickly. I think it's 3 cards back. So if we look here, dwarf and this dude, knife in the hand. They showed this off with the dev stream. Over here, same dwarf, bandaged hand. He's now getting his revenge. He's now coming back. Crown splitter thug. These guys are crown splitters. He's now going to kill this guy with his axe. So I like the way there's like a storytelling in the cards. 3 body, 5 provisions, intimidate, deploy, damage an enemy unit by 2. It's simple. You get your 5 provisions back with the body and the damage. Maybe you're not clearing it. Maybe you're running this and the damage 2 will help you get a bounty. Like maybe you can kill a card with a bounty. You're getting coins back, and you're putting intimidate on the board. So you're running crime cards. You can then start getting the tick on this, and it will start ticking from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 every time you play a crime card. Pretty standard, but like I said, I like the way the artwork links. Okay, there is Dip in the Ponder. This is definitely not a ponder you want to be dipping in. I mean, just look at it, it's pretty disgusting. But yeah, it's 5 provisions, profit free, damaging the enemy unit by 3. Like I said, personally, if you're trying to work out as new players, like I've done lots of videos on provisions and working up provisions. If you're trying to work out provisions, I would recommend with crowns and profit about 1.5 crowns to 1 provision is roughly for now how I'm personally going about working out provisions if you want to get technical on it. So you're looking, you got your 3 damage, and then you're looking at getting 2 provisions off the profit of 3. So it's coming out 5 for 5 pretty much. Flipped on its head in terms of you're using the 3 to clear a Vez, maybe clear another engineering off the board. You're getting a lot more value. Again, stopping that Zeal off Vez, stopping another engine, ticking for over time. Even Vicer, they throw a Vicer down with no immunity. I don't know why they would do that, but anyway, they do. This can clear Vicer. You're saving a damn sight more value clearing this, and you get the profit of 3. So it's nice. It's another little gold card. It'll be an epic card, so 200 scrap is what I'd expect it to be at. Here we go, Novigrad. Novigrad, what am I on about? Eternal Fire Priest. So, whenever you spawn 1 or more units, boost self by 1. Now, there is a swarm archetype coming in Novigrad expansion. There's already cards been revealed for that, although we might not get to them in this. I won't spoil anything about how they play, but I will talk about them, how they play as we go along. So basically, you get this guy on the board. He can get a pretty big engine. I played a couple of... I played Swarm Archetype quite a lot in PTR. It's fun. It's very susceptible to getting... There's lots of counters towards it. It can really struggle with tempo early on. More importantly, it can really struggle... Not tempo. It can really struggle with removal early on. And it can be very susceptible to removal. So This guy goes down. There are cards that every time you spawn a card, this guy's buffing. So you pay a fee. Let's say you pay a fee twice in one round to spawn 2 cards. He's gone from a 3 to a 4 to a 5. You do that again next round, 5 to a 6 to a 7. And so he's an engine that can get pretty big every time you're buffing. Sorry, you're spawning cards. He's if you're running a swarm archetype, if you're running the fire priest archetype, this guy's gonna be a staple. He has to go in your deck. Simple as that. And then here we go. So this is Grand Inquisitor Helvede. So this guy was revealed in a dev stream. He's 4 provisions. He's 4 body, 10 provisions, profit 4. So if you work that out, roughly that works out with profit. He is getting back, before we look at the ability, about 6 provisions. And then we look at, or 6.5 provisions, fee 2. Spawn a fire sworn zealot and summon it to this row. That's a fee of 2. So wait a minute. If we work this out, this guy's on the board. We play this guy on the board. He's given us profit 4. We're now up to 8 profit. Okay. This guy was on the board from the previous round. Now we spend all 8 to spawn 1, 2, 3, 4 fire swarm zealots. Now this guy's going to go from a 3 to a 7. So that's 4 points. Okay. We're going to get these fire swarm zealots come out at 3 bodies. So that's getting us 12 points on the board. All of a sudden, we just got 16 points on the board. That's pretty huge. So all of a sudden, the 4 for 10 is looking very worth it. Hugely worth it. 16 points on the board. The 4 body, that's 20 points we're getting off for 10 provisions. Okay, nice. Very, very nice. Okay, we've got other cards that will even extend on that further. And you'll see what I mean by the swarm archetype. Again, apologies if I'm rushing through these. I've got 30 cards to get through. I don't want to keep people here all day. So here we go. Spawn and summon 2 fire swarm zealots to an allied row. If you have 0 coins in the bank, crowns in the bank, spawn 3 fire swarm zealots instead. Sorry, the fire swarm zealots come out at 2 cost, not 3. I should remember that. They come out at 2 cost, not 3 cost. That was a mistake on my behalf. So this here, 6 provisions. You're never using this card when you have coins in the bank. This is great round 1. Or let's say, for example, we go back 2 cards. This guy's on the board. We play this guy. We then play this guy. And we have got, we spawn. We're up to 8. We play. We're down to 0. We play this guy next turn. He brings out another 3. All of a sudden, the other guy gets boosted again because we just spawned another 3 cards. Okay. Now, what's important to remember on the guy back here on Eternal Fire Priest is whenever you spawn 1 or more units, boost yourself by 1. So because this is a fee ability, every time we tick it, this guy's boosting by 1. So every time you pay the fee, 1, 1, 1, 1. However, when you play this one here, this is a single ability. You may be spawning 3. The other guy isn't boosting by 3. He's still only boosting by 1. So it's important to remember that in your maths as you're learning the round. This is a single ability, so it's 1 or more. This is 1 or more. He's only boosting by 1. But you can start to see how the swarm archetype is going to build out, especially with Novigrad. I'm really looking forward to see how people play it. I'm also looking forward to seeing how much Gimpy going is going to be auto include for these swarms. So here we go. 2 body, 4 provisions. Profit 2. So when you play it, you get 2 profit. Fee 2. Spawn and summon a fire swarm zealot to this row. Oh my god, all of a sudden now we can spawn. We have 2 of them. We spawn. Maybe we're spawning on the melee row. Maybe we're spawning on the ranged row. Note, this is a cooldown of 1. So unlike Grand Inquisitor, this guy here, who can just spam it 1 turn, pay. The other guy, this guy here, Eternal Fire Disciple, can only do it once per turn because he has a cooldown of 1. And again, these come out of 2 body. But every time you do it, we go back to our Eternal File, the guy that boosts up by 1 when you spawn, he's boosting as well. We're starting to see the bigger picture now of the swarm archetype. And we go here, 2 body, 5 provisions, deploy, damage an enemy unit by 2, death blow, spawn and summon fire swarm zealots to this row. This is your sentinel for Novigrad. Okay, this is your Scoia'tael sentinel for Novigrad. You're damaging an enemy by 2. You're spawning Fire Swarm Zealot. So let's say you have the other guy on the board that buffs self every time you spawn. You play this, you damage by 2. You then pop another 2, so that's 6. The guy's buffing by 1. That's 7 for a 5 provision card. Not bad, really. Pretty tasty. Again, we're starting to look at the Fire Swarm archetype now. Okay, this guy here. Now, this guy's very, very interesting. We're going to jump back to Gwent in a minute because there's some very interesting decks that we made in PTR with this guy. So, this is Prophet Lebioda. Prophet Lebioda. So, whenever you play a unit adjacent to Saint Lebioda, give it a shield. So, basically, you pop this guy down. Anytime I play a unit next to it, give it a shield. You might be thinking, shields are overrated. They can get removed. I don't really care about shields. There was a card, guys, that released with Crimson Curse. If we jump across to Gwent now. There was a card that released with Crimson Curse. And finally, this card is getting value now. And that card is King Rognar. Deploy melee. Remove shields from all units and boost self by 3 for each shield removed. Now, decks I saw that ran in PTR had the Lebioda had immunity on him. So every unit they played, a shield was getting next to it, okay? Play unit, shield. Play unit, shield. Let's say you're also playing shielded units anyway. Lebioda does crossover with Northern Realms. So he is a crossover, a dual faction card with Northern Realms. So all of a sudden, let's say you have 5 shields on your cards at the end of the round. You play this guy. He's coming up for 4. He's buffing himself for 5 shields. That's 15 points. And all of a sudden, he's gone to a 19. Like, that's not a bad finisher. If you look at a Harold and Dager finisher, that's 20-point finisher. Having a 19-point finisher is only 1 less than that. It's a big, big finisher. Maybe you get lucky and actually you end up having 7 shields still out. That's a 25-point finisher. That's huge. Like, this guy, I genuinely think we see. I don't think it's super, super competitive. I don't think it is like tier 1 deck. But I definitely think King Rognar now gets value. Finally, King Rognar gets value off the fact that if I jump back over to our cards, the fact that Lebioda can come out and give a shield to every single unit. You add that in with the ones that the formation cards, I can't remember what they're called now, but they put shields on the people. Lady of the Lake comes out with a shield, gives a unit a shield. All of a sudden, maybe every unit in your deck, in your board has a shield. Maybe it's bonkers. Maybe it comes out for 30-point combo at the end. Massive. Obviously, if they're running Lacerate or Octavist, you're going to be a little bit upset. But yeah, that's Gwent for you, eh? I'm looking forward to seeing how this guy runs. I'm looking forward to seeing how this guy's included in Northern Realm decks. I'm looking forward to seeing if King Rognar actually gets value now. Okay, fire. So this is an artifact, Sacred Flame. I feel like we've still got so many cards to go. Let me see how we're getting on. Sorry, guys, to see if we're gonna finish this at any time soon. Oh no, we're cool. We're right. We've got like 8 cards left to go for this video, so it's fine. Where are we gone? Sacred Flame. Here we go. So, Sacred Flame. It's an artifact. Deploy. Spawn a Firestorm Zealot on both sides of this card. Like a portal. You pop this guy down, or this artifact down. 2 Zealots come out at 2 cost, remember. So, you're only getting 4 provisions off them. It's 11... Sorry, you're getting 4 body off them. It's 11 provisions. You might be thinking, like, is that great? Let's look at the next line. Whenever you spawn a unit, boost it by 1. Wow. Okay. All of a sudden, this is game changing for Swarm decks. Because if we go back to, if I can find them now, if we go back to our Grand Inquisitor, so every time this guy's fee is being paid, spawn a Firestorm Zealot and Sumptuous Row, we're getting 1 extra power off this guy. Because now they're not coming out for 2s, they're coming out for 3s every single time. We spawn 3 of them, that is coming out for the 12 that I initially said. Then we go back over here. This guy's buffing as well as we go. Now all of a sudden, when we play these cards here, we have nothing in the bank. These guys are coming out at 3 costs. So we've got 9 provisions off them rather than the base 6. All of a sudden, our Swarm archetype is starting to get a lot more powerful. We're getting big tempo on the board. We're getting big numbers out. We're paying fees. We're getting them flying out all over the shop. Yeah, so the thing I found with Swarm, it was fun to play. It was fun to spam the board with all these units and get them all buffed up. Then throw like a Bone Talisman down at the end and just buff everything and be like, whoa, that was a massive Bone Talisman. Gimpy, obviously you notice that all these guys here are called Fire Swarm Zealots. Gimpy wipes all of them. Bit of a shame. It does happen though. And also they struggle for removal. I really struggled if they were playing cards that cleared cards over time, damage a card by 2, pay a fee of 2 or 3. I was just getting cards removed. I had no way of removing it. So you're going to have to find a balance with general cards as well as these Fire Swarm Swarm cards to get value on a Swarm deck. Swarm deck I don't think ever gets to tier 1, mostly because Gimpy. I do think Swarm decks though will have a chance of being competitive, definitely competitive and fun to play. And let's go on then. So this guy here, 2 body, 4 provisions. Okay, he's called the Witch Hunter Temple Guard. So he plays into the Witch Hunter, or sorry, she plays into the Witch Hunter archetype. Deploy on the melee, boost 3 adjacent allies by 1. So all of a sudden it's coming out for 5 power if you're looking at it for raw provisions to power. But you may be using this to keep zealots on the board. Maybe you're using this to keep certain cards on the board, keep engines on the board. Maybe it's you've popped an engine at a 4, you play this, it goes up to a 5. All of a sudden that's slightly harder to remove. But yeah, it plays into Witch Hunter archetype. And yeah, that's Witch Hunter Temple Guard. And then we have Evertide Plunder. Destroy an enemy artifact. If there are none, gain 3 crowns. So it's 4 provisions. You can have this in your deck as it's a crime card. So if you're running a crime deck, having this in the deck, only gaining 3 crowns is not great. It works out in my head about 2.5 provisions to the 4 provisions, or 2.5 value to the 4 provisions. However, if you're running in a crime deck with Intimidate, maybe you're getting 2 or 3 procs on the board. So actually maybe gaining 3 crowns that allows you to pop a fee ability that allows you to get the Intimidate as well. Maybe this card actually does get value. And if they're running an artifact, then you're clearing an artifact as well, which is pretty big. And again, if you're running Intimidate, you're getting procs off the Intimidate as well. Then we go on to Sewer Raiders. Sewer Raiders, deploy, then Horde of, so you deploy a card, you have to have a Horde of 4, meaning you have to have 4 crowns in your bank. If you don't get deployability. Summon a copy of this unit from your deck to this row. So here we go. It's now notice it's summoned, so you're not playing it. You don't get to play it again and again and again. So if you have a way of duplicating cards, it's summoning the copy. It doesn't play the copy to then do another horde for and keep bringing them all out. It's summoning it, so you don't get deployability. But you're getting 6 cards on the board, 6 points on the board for 10 provisions. You're thinning the deck. All you need to make sure is you have Horde of 4. There is no payment of that. Horde is you have to have it when you deploy, hence why it's deploy next to it. If you have 3 crowns in your bank when you play this, you can't, that's it, you don't get, you brick on the combo or on the ability. If you have 5, brilliant, you've got the 4 over 4, it summons the card out there. It's fitting, it's tempo, it's yeah, it looks okay. Sewer Raiders. Then we go to, this is I believe a Skellige crossover card. I might be wrong on that actually. No, it is. This is definitely a Skellige card, dual faction card. 3 body, 5 provisions. Tide Cloak Hideaway is the card's name. Deploy on the ranged row. Boost an allied unit by 1 for every pirate in your hand. I love the fact that they are starting to look into and flesh out the pirate archetypes. I love the idea of, I mean, I don't like Skellige very much as a faction. I'm public about it on streams. But I like the fact that they are actually looking to flesh it out as an archetype. I want to play more pirate archetypes. I think pirate archetypes look cool. And I want to, yeah, I want to play a Skellige pirate deck with ships and pirates. I think that'd be really cool. I think we're still an expansion away from that being the case. But they're taking steps towards it with this. And it's definitely a reason now to actually start playing pirates in your hand. It's another reason to play it. And I mean, you got 3 pirates in your hand, you boost it to a 6. You're getting value off the card, aren't you? So it's yeah, it feeds into that archetype. And then we go to this guy here. Hammond. Hammond is a bit of a beast. Deploy on the melee row. Boost all allied pirates by 1. Deploy on the ranged row. Boost all ships by 1. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I didn't play this card much in the PTR. It is a Skellige crossover again, unsurprisingly. I'm pretty sure this ability means on the board. So when you play it on the melee, boost all allied pirates that are on the board by 1. On the range row, boost all allied ships that are on the board by 1. But yeah, I mean, it definitely is playing into the ship archetype. It's fleshing out more. It's definitely something I want to see extended on. I think this card gets played this season. I think this card, or this expansion, I think it definitely finds play in Skellige decks, maybe Novigrad decks. I think 2 or 3 expansions time, 1 or 2 expansions time, when pirates and ships are more of an archetype, I think this guy is like a go-to card. Like he can keep units on the board. He can be a huge play. You got 5 units, 5 pirates on the board. You play this guy, he's coming out 5, he's buffing them all as well. Maybe he's keeping engines on the board by the buff, and he's coming out for a 10. It's a pretty big play. So I look forward to seeing how this card evolves. Not so much in this season or this expansion, but definitely over time with the ship pirate archetype in Skellige. And then we move on. Tavern Brawl. This guy is another crime card. 7 provisions, which is quite expensive for a crime card, but force an enemy unit to duel with an adjacent unit. Now, do not make the mistake I made in PTR when I clicked a unit and when I went to another unit and I was like, oh, that was silly of me, wasn't it? Because it has to be adjacent. Now, best example I can find I used this in PTR was one to remove a shield and then clear an enemy. So they had 2 enemies, they had 2 units. There were 7, I believe, yeah, there were 7 provisions. Sorry, 7 bodies. So I clicked on the shielded one to then... Sorry, I clicked on the non-shielded one to then go across... no, on the shielded one, sorry, to then duel with the enemy to the right, I think it was, that wasn't shielded. So it went across, it damaged the enemy by 7, and then it lost its shield as well. So it's pretty big. It's almost like a treason from Nilfgaard, but it's going to be hard to get the full 7 value off it. The way you're going to get the 7 value is by using it to remove engines. So yeah, remember as well, it's immune. So because you have to select the card it's going to duel against. You can't, unlike treason, you can't use it to clear an immune card. You'd have to click on the card you want to duel and then click on the card you want it to duel. Immunity would trump this out, so this doesn't work with immunity. And then this is our last card of the video, guys. This is our 32nd card we've gone through today. This is Imke, or Imke? I-M-K-E. Imke? I'm going to say Imke. This card was played a lot in PTR, understandably, because she's a very good engine. So, 5 costs, player on the ranged row. Every ally turn, on turn end, gain 2 crowns. She just ticks and keeps your crowns coming and coming and coming. For fee of 3, you can gain a shield as well. So, you can put her at a 5, or maybe you've got a way of buffing her. So she goes to a 6, you put a shield on her. Yeah, she's pretty untouchable at that point in one round. There's not many cards that are just going to completely wipe her off the board past a shield. You can even maybe get cards out so she keeps getting shields. There are cards that will buff, or there are cards that buff depending on what like every time you make crowns, they buff. Yeah, she's going to be played in a lot of Novigrad decks. She's a good engine, a very good engine to keep crowns coming in, to keep you able to pay fees, to pay tributes, and to hit horde abilities. And yeah, I think definitely early in the expansion after it launches, she's going to be almost auto-include in a lot of Novigrad decks because she's just such a good engine. She's going to be like a Foglit in Northern Realms. Foglit's played in almost every Northern Realms deck because it's a good engine and ticks. This is a pretty good engine. She only needs to get 2 procs off to get, or potentially 2 procs off, maybe 3 to get her provisions back. But she comes out of 5, so she's pretty safe. Unless you're playing Nilfgaard, then she'll probably get locked pretty early doors. But yeah, that is it, guys. That is part 1 preview. I say preview of the Novigrad expansion cards because I don't want to review cards when I've played some of them in PTR. but I don't want to give them a full review until I've actually fully played them. We won't be reviewing them, but that's taking you through my the cards. Some basic combos I recommend or I expect to see played. What I liked about them and some of the new mechanics. Hopefully you liked the video, guys. And let me know if you did like the video in the comments below, or maybe even just like the video, and that way I know you liked it. But yeah, that is it. Thank you so much. We will have part 2 up probably in about 2 days' time, and then part 3 out will be close to the launch of Novigrad. One thing I will say is they're not launching a starter deck for the Novigrad expansion, but I'm teaming up with another Twitch streamer and the fellow TRS community member or team player called Baby Joseph. We are going to sit down and we're going to make a starter deck for you guys. It's going to be the new to Gwent video for next week. We're going to be releasing that. We're going to play it against each of the other 5 faction starter decks, see how it handles, make changes here or there to it. We're going to kind of build it together, and then we're going to put it out there to you. We're going to try and keep it cheap, so it won't be maxing out on provision cost. It will be cheap on scrap, but the idea is if you're new to the game and you're like, I want to play Novigrad, but I don't know where to start, that's the perfect chance for you to build that deck and kind of get into playing Novigrad, maybe lower ranks, and just kind of get a feel for the faction, a feel for the mechanics, and a feel for the cards. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much. I do stream over on Twitch. If you want to go join me over on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. My timetable is changing for the summer. If you guys want to see what changes are happening, there is a video on the YouTube channel now. It's like a 15-minute video of my plans for the summer. But hey, I've plugged so much at the end now. Hopefully you like the video, guys. Thank you for everyone who watched again. It does mean a lot every time someone watches the videos. And yeah, until next time, have a great day, morning, evening, whatever it is where you guys are. And goodbye. Thank you so much, guys, and goodbye.